What's up, everybody? Group Coach Nation, people, amazing humans. So, y'all frequently hear me call you kids. What's up, kids? I say that a lot. Somebody mentioned recently when they were joining our group, and thank you for this. This is not a critique, this is a thank you, that this person didn't appreciate being called a kid. Thank you for saying that. I don't think you guys are kids in a childish way. When we first started this community a long time ago, several years ago, I don't know. I just randomly said, "Hey, kids," one day, and people just loved it. So I kept saying it. Don't want to offend anybody for sure. You guys are awesome, incredible experts. Love being here, and I love getting to hang out with people like you every day. That is so true. The coolest thing, and we'll get to our topic here in a second. How do I know? Somebody asked, how do I know if my expertise is marketable? That's a really good question. But let me just say one more thing about this. One of the coolest things about getting to be a host of a show or a community, if it's a community of 3 people, if it's a community of thousands of people, it doesn't matter. We're all leaders to somebody. And it's so cool to be part of a community like this. It really is. I love entrepreneurship. I love being a business expert, and I love hanging out with other business experts. And that's the coolest thing about this kind of community. You can build your own community, folks. You can have your own space. You can have your own show. It doesn't take a lot of work. It's really simple. Ask questions. We'll show you how to do it. It's super easy. But the bottom line is you get to hang out with cool people, right? Who doesn't love that? Okay. So let's answer this question right off the bat here. When somebody joined, I didn't put a name on this one because when people join our community or ask a question in a private message, I do my best not to just put names up there. So no worries. How do I know if my expertise is marketable? First of all, thanks for asking that question. And that is a vulnerable question. Think about it, folks. I'm not sure I would have asked that question in a public setting either. Because you wonder when you're doing this thing, you're out there and you're like, I'm gonna get my expertise out there. I'm gonna start selling it, and I'm gonna create an online course or a mastermind or one-on-one coaching or done-for-you service, whatever your thing is. We often think, but am I really good enough? I mean, was I good enough? Maybe I was good enough. They used to be buying, but now they're not. Or have I changed something? What happened to the market? Or I'm just starting out. I know what to do here. I've been doing it for this corporation. Now I want to do it for myself. Should I be doing done-for-you services, coaching, one-on-one, group coaching, having your own mastermind, whatever? This is called Group Coach Nation for a reason, folks. Most of us in this community have a done-for-you agency. I do. Most of us have done one-on-one consulting. That's just a dead-end street. The done-for-you agency model is very scalable. If you have an expertise, you can scale that. Teams and systems, you can grow it so big. And it doesn't take a lot of your time. I might work an hour and a half or 2 hours a week in my done-for-you agency. It's such a cool business model. You can do the same thing. We talk a lot about group coaching and mastermind building here because it's scalable. All right. It's a way to be involved with your community and your people, to give people real transformation that's not just an e-course, because we all know how that usually goes. People usually take e-courses and they just don't actually make the life change. Group coaching or one-on-one coaching helps do that. Coaching as a group or a mastermind makes it faster. It's efficient. It's a scalable model. That's what we talk about here, right? Okay. How do you know if you have an expertise that's actually marketable? Well, that's a good question. Ultimately, there's a couple of reasons that you'll start waking up to this. Oh, this works. When you find that people, here's an easy one. You find that people are asking you, hey, how do you do that? That's super cool. Tell me more about your work. What's your life like? How do you have so much free time? How are you able to make money? How are you able to build websites? How are you able to speak on stage? How'd you write that book? Whatever. You might think, well, Chris, how'd you write that book? That's a good example. So I wrote a book and people are saying, wow, love the book. How'd you write that book? You might have never realized that the expertise you put in the book isn't what people necessarily want. They might realize that you know how to write a book now, and they want to know how to write a book. And you find yourself making a correction or a turn, and you realize, oh, it's not that I wrote a book about XYZ stage speaking, let's say. It's that now people are more enthralled with the fact that I wrote a book, and they're asking me, how did you do that? Believe it or not, that right there is a sellable skill set. You can teach a high-ticket mastermind or group coaching program on building your own, writing your own, start from scratch, all the way to publishing book. All right. There are multiple people in this community who teach high ticket masterminds on how to write a book. It's doable, guys. Think about what expertise you have that you're already selling and marketing. All right. Then think about, what do people ask me about as I'm doing that normal work? What do people ask me about? When I was first starting out in my done for you marketing agency, I work with a bunch of surgeons and subspecialties, right? Doctors in specific niches. I would find myself building websites, creating logos, writing copy, doing social media accounts, all the normal stuff, right? And people were like, oh, cool. So you build websites. Great. Now I can make a buck building a website. But then people started asking, like other people who built websites into social media accounts and create logos, people like me, they started saying, hey, how do you get these clients? Like, how are you getting these amazing clients? Wow. All of a sudden I realized these other people that are like me, that have a business like me, they don't know how to get clients. And I realized that was a sellable bit of information. Oh, one of the things I just do as a normal part of my business is actually sellable. Okay. That's important to note. So pay attention to the things that you're doing in and around your business that people ask about, that are critical pieces of the puzzle. That stuff is where the golden nuggets are. That's where the important things really happen. It's not just that I learned how to build a WordPress website or open up some photo, whatever, and brush up somebody's photo for a social media post. I'm struggling on the photo, whatever name, because I don't do that anymore, right? I build systems and teams that help me do that stuff. Okay, so then people start asking it, well, Chris, how'd you build the systems and team? How is it that you're able to travel so much and not work so much? And we see you out paddleboarding or see you just hanging out at random coffee shops in the middle of the day. How do you do that? And I realized, oh, it's not the building of the websites and the marketing that matters here for me. It was learning how to sell the information around how I was building a business. You're going to realize that most of the things that you buy, if you've purchased e-courses, if you've purchased books, you're listening to podcasts, all those things, early on in your career stage, we'll call it, horrible word, that career word, early on in the career stage, the path that you're on as an entrepreneur, this vocation, I don't know what you call these things, what are we? I don't have a career. It seems like I change things all the time. Early on, you're cracking the code on how to do a function, build a website, get booked on a stage, start a podcast, create a following on LinkedIn, whatever. And once you crack that code, then you're going to start maybe getting a little bit more business. And then you're going to start getting the traction you want, building relationships, whatever. And then you'll start like wanting to learn, okay, now I know how to do that thing, but now I know how to bring in more clients. I got to know how do I invoice these people? Now I'm working 16 hours a day. Yeah, I'm making a few more bucks, but oh my gosh, my life's insane. How do I get that back under control? Those really key questions for how do you actually do the life? How do you generate leads? How do you sell? How do you get your life under control? How do you balance personal relationships and business? How do you have a business partner or not have a business partner? How do you get booked on podcasts? How do you get booked on a stage? I'm just thinking of all these marketing guys. How do you do PR, right? Those things matter. Those are the things that actually help someone go from learning how to just do their basic thing in life to being able to scale it and grow it. That's important stuff. So how do you know if your expertise is marketable? Look for the things that people are asking you about. That is honestly one of the best things you can do. Yes, you can go out there and start Googling random words and Googling long tail phrases that are just like helping you understand what are people asking about when it comes to these kind of questions. But you're going to probably see, if you think back the past several months in online communities or in real face-to-face examples, you're going to be like, oh, so-and-so asked me a question. I never even thought about that. I just answered their question and wow, didn't realize that's the valuable question I keep getting asked about. Think back to those questions. That's how I started my first mastermind. It is. My first mastermind was about business systems and bringing on teams and training people because I don't work a lot for my income because I have good teams and systems. And I was actually in another mastermind that I paid to be part of. I paid $30,000 to be in a high ticket mastermind Great experience. All right. I was like, oh my gosh, I love this mastermind thing. This is a really cool way to learn. And I was asking the other people in the mastermind that I was part of, the other students, here's the code I'm trying to crack. I'm trying to build an e-course. I want to talk about my expertise. And they're like, oh my gosh, Chris, we all have e-courses that are killing it because we built a mastermind first. We built a high-tech group coaching program first. And I was like, oh my gosh. And so I built my first mastermind. And I asked them, what would you guys want to learn about? And they were like, well, Chris, if you really only work an hour and a half or 2 hours a week in your business, then that's what we want to worry about. Because everybody in that room was making a ton of money. We all had to like prove our income to be in that room. And they wanted to know how to get their life back. That had never dawned on me that that was the thing. And it never dawned, because that was what was easy for me to accomplish. And it never crossed my mind that I should start a high ticket group coaching program or mastermind before building an e-course. I should get away from one-on-one consulting because that was just eating up time, right? I already learned that, but I didn't know how to replicate and scale the information that I wanted to get out there in a way that was allowing me to get paid now and allowing me to build while I was getting paid, not build, e-course style, build funnels, drop a bunch of money from your credit card into some ads and hope it works, right? It was all about I can attract a client and I can sell my expertise. And I think 6 weeks later, I had a mastermind. Like, couldn't freaking believe it. So that's the answer to this question. You have an expertise. The thing you can monetize sometimes is exactly what you do day in, day out. You could say, I will show you how to, let's just go back to this website idea. You build websites for a living, let's say. I will show you how to build websites. Cool. Maybe you've written a book and you speak on stage about building websites. Good for you. But the next level up is I will show you how to get clients for your website builds. They can watch lots of free YouTube and learn how to build a website. Getting the clients is a whole different level, right? So look at what people are asking you about. What are they really wanting to know? How did you crack the code on this difficult piece of what you do? That one piece is marketable information, and people want to learn from you. Hope that helps. Super good question. All right, that's it for me today. I'm going to jump out of here. You guys have an awesome time. And you're welcome to ask questions and use all the resources we have here at Group Coach Nation. There's tons in this place right here. Wherever you're finding this content, we try to link all of our information everywhere. Yay, you. There's tons of free information here. All right. If you want to go over to groupcoachnation.com, our website, tons of free information there. We want you to be able to learn, here's my expertise, here's who needs it, and how do I put those two things together in a really profitable way? People want what you got. You've already figured it out. How do you make that glue happen? How do you attract those people to see you as the expert and put that together in a very scalable, simple way that allows you to make money and doesn't take your entire life to do it? That's it for me, guys. You guys are awesome. Keep crushing it, and we'll talk soon.